Hell's triumph over heaven would not have been possible without you, my loyal minions. In keeping with the promise I made at the beginning of this race for dominance in the afterlife, I shall now reveal the secret of unlimited wealth. You may have noticed that the fourth layer of hell is reserved for the hoarders and the spendthrifts. This is because only I can reveal the way in which you can become wealthy. The secret to unlimited wealth is a multifaceted secret, but I shall attempt to be as brief as possible and will answer any questions related to the secret that my minions have for me. By listening to the remaining portion of this broadcast, you hereby affirm your commitment to me, your Lord of Darkness, and release your eternal soul to my custody. Once you have completed listening to this broadcast, delivery of said soul shall be immediate. You may live out the remainder of your days on Earth in as much bliss as you desire, as the secret provides for this. But as of the time you finish listening to this broadcast, you shall no longer have a soul. It shall thenceforth be mine. The first thing you must understand about attaining great wealth is that it requires capital. Whether you save it or borrow it, you need it. If you choose to save it, then you will need to develop some sort of consumer discipline until you have the capital you desire. Don't buy frivolous things, stick to necessities, and get those as cheaply as possible. Keep that up until you have the capital you need. If you spend your capital before you commit it, that's your own fault. Don't blame me or God for your problems if you can't control your spending. If you borrow it, you should be sure that your net income can cover the interest payments. Now, what you must understand about the way money works in this day and age is crucial. Here is a rundown of how the modern banking system works. This will help you understand how the secret will work. Every nation that has its own currency has a central bank that issues the currency. Contrary to popular belief, the central bank is not a government-controlled or owned institution. It belongs to private investors who don't give two shits about you, your family, or your livelihood, as would a politician who wants your vote. Long time ago, I inspired a German Jew to start keeping gold for people. He quickly learned that usually people never came back to claim their gold from his vault. He noticed that only 10% of the gold he stored for people was ever collected. So he started lending this gold out at interest, creating 10 times more money than he actually had. This is called fractional reserve banking, and it is a beautifully evil scam. You give the bank $100 and they lend out $1,000, all at interest. If they charge 8% on their loans, they are really making 80%. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could own your own bank? Well, unless you have $10 million and live in the United States, that's probably not going to happen. If you live in any other country in the world, you stand an even lesser chance of starting your own bank. Any other lending business requires 100% reserves and is not very profitable nor safe, unless you have a Jewish lawyer who can do up the best contracts ever and lend money only to rich people who buy real estate. You'll need millions to do that as well. Now, here's the problem my friend Amschel Rothschild created. The modern banking system the world over uses fractional reserve lending policies, which constantly increases the money supply, making everything you want to buy more expensive all the time. The truth is, everyone who is so capable is out there busting their rear ends to make stuff, right? So that means that every day there should be more stuff for everyone, and if there is more stuff for everyone, then it should all come down in price. We can observe this in the computer industry quite well. Greater supply over same demand equals lower prices. Likewise, same prices over smaller demand equal lower prices. So how does that affect the buying power of your money? There was a time in colonial America when the colonies used a fiat currency, paper with a promise to pay printed on it. It was called colonial scrip. Its supply was maintained at a certain amount per citizen, and as a result, the more productive the people in the colonies were, the more their scrip was able to buy. Then the English Parliament banned scrip and demanded that taxes be paid in gold, which caused a severe depression throughout the colonies. Eventually, the United States ended up with a central bank called the Federal Reserve. It is not a branch of the federal government. It is a business. Its business is to lend money to the government and to member banks. So, inversely, from the case of colonial scrip, these debt-based notes issued by the central banks are always eroding your buying power by pumping more cash into the economy all the time. More cash equals greater prices, because there is simply a greater supply of cash to buy stuff. So, is there a way that you can protect your buying power so that banks can't erode it with their evil fractional lending practices? Of course there is. What do rich people do when money starts to lose value? They buy something that will hold the value of their hard-earned cash. Something such as gold or silver, but more usually gold. I'm not telling you to go out and buy gold. There is a time to buy it and a time to sell it, and I will teach you how to tell the difference. Once in a while, in order to hide what they do, central banks buy back currency by selling bonds. This makes money flow back to them, and they only have to pay a tiny percentage on it. This is the net effect of strengthening the currency, whereas lending it out willy-nilly makes its value drop. You can exploit the differences in the fluctuations of the currency values of different nations. Here is how you do it. Let us consider the reserve currencies of the Bank of International Settlements. British pounds, United States dollars, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, euros, yens, Swiss francs, and gold and silver bullion. There may be others, but I can't think of them right now. It is irrelevant anyway. All of these currencies go up and down all the time, as well as the prices of gold and silver in those currencies. Now, consider the value of each of those currencies expressed as the price of either gold or silver. We'll use gold, because traditionally it has been the favorite commodity of the rich, but silver would work just as well. The value of gold goes up and down with its supply and demand, but so do all the other currencies. When gold is maintaining a stable value, some currencies will have rising gold prices, and others will have falling gold prices. The ones with falling gold prices are getting stronger, meaning that in the future they will buy more gold, and buying power is the key to wealth. In this case, you want to keep your money in the currency with the fastest falling gold price. This phenomenon can be observed when gold is going up or down in value. When gold goes up in value, almost all currencies' gold prices will go up as well. Whichever one is going up the slowest is the strongest currency. But if all currencies have rising gold prices, it is best to put your money on gold itself. When gold starts going down in value, the inverse will be true. All the other currencies will have falling gold prices, in which case you want to get out of gold completely and put your money on the currency with the fastest falling gold price. Doing this will yield a stable 200% per year. This method is guaranteed to triple your money in a year. The easiest way to do all this is to raise 10,000 British pounds of capital and open a Forex trading account. Do not use margins. Margins are designed to take your money away and give it to people who don't really need it. Trade one-to-one with many lots of currency. If all this sounds confusing, please look up the following website. It can answer a lot of questions you might have about the stuff I'm talking about. The best way to measure the strength of a trend is to combine moving averages to determine the direction of the trend, and relative strength index, or RSI. The higher RSI means a stronger trend. Remember, you want strong downtrends when gold is going down in value, or if it is remaining more or less stable. And when it goes up, you want to either find a slow rising trend or just hold on to the gold itself. Once again, read the website over well, and if you have any more questions, be sure to ask either myself or my trusted envoy, Mr. Dan R. Mohammed. I will only answer questions posted to the Hell group so anyone can see the answer. Now that you have listened to this entire broadcast, Your soul is now mine.